That was a tough watch. The Jaguars really took a beating today against the Carolina Panthers, but it's just a meaningless preseason game. And I'll give you some things that I took away from the game, both good and bad, but honestly, more good than bad because the Jaguars starters didn't play. They lost, but we saw some glimpses from some guys that the Jaguars are going to need throughout this season. That should make Jaguars fans feel pretty happy about this game overall. First, I'll start with the bad. And there was plenty of it because the Carolina Panthers dominated the game tonight. But that's pretty much to be expected when the Jaguars didn't play any starters. So the first quarter, the Panthers starters are playing the Jags second string. The second and third quarter, the Panthers second string are playing the Jags third string. So I'm not taking too much of that into account. But for those who thought Carter Bradley could outseed Nick Mullins, I think that ship has sailed. I mean, he made a really bad play here on this interception, throwing across his body on third down. That's just a mistake you can't make. Hopefully, he learns from it and he could be a good practice squad player. But for the good things that I saw tonight, the first, I think Ameer Abdullah really put a name for himself today. He's definitely, I think, separated himself from Dallas. I think he's earned himself a roster spot. I know Dallas is a great kick returner, but I still think I'm leading Ameer Abdullah after what I saw today. He looked really honestly explosive in the passing game, and he was the only thing working for the Jags for a large chunk of this game. The other thing I really liked is what we saw from CJ Williams and Josh Cameron. Cameron, you can see here, this is the reason why I had one of the lowest drop rates in college football. He made two really nice catches here. And CJ Williams looked really good and involved in the offense at first when Nick Mullins was in the game. And the second thing I'm going to call out here is Nick Mullins played serviceable. I think a lot of people, myself included, were really worried after what we saw from Nick Mullins last week. But at least today, he looked serviceable. We hope during the season that we only see him taking knee downs and Jaguars victories. But if he does have to come in, at least he looked like he could run the offense a little bit. And my biggest takeaway here, and we didn't see much of these guys, only a couple of drives, but the Jaguars are not going to miss Devin Lloyd. I loved what I saw out of Ventrell Miller and Bryson Combs. And I feel like they're a great pair for each other. Ventrell Miller made a couple of big hits to stuff the run on that opening drive for the Panthers. And then Bryson Combs, you can see here, he gets to the quarterback. And, we all know he's the former wide receiver, and he did have a pass interference call against him early in the game today. But love seeing him beat the running back on a block here, get to the quarterback so that you can see that he can also bring pressure. He's not just a coverage linebacker. And I think the two of these guys are really going to pair well for the Jaguars linebacker room and make it so that we don't really miss Devin Lloyd. Now, do I think these guys are going to have 6 interceptions total? Probably not, but interceptions and turnovers can be a little bit fluky. I don't think Devin Lloyd was going to have that type of season again this year as well. And so feel really good about the Jaguars linebacker room and really the Jaguars defense in general. I mean, I know obviously they didn't play great tonight, but that was one of the questions I had about the Jaguars defense coming in, if they were going to miss Devin Lloyd in that interior pass rush. And overall, we've seen the Jaguars improve. And I do want to give a shout out to one more guy who played really well today, Brian Thomas Jr., but not that Brian Thomas Jr. And boy, it makes things confusing when you have two Brian Thomas Jr.'s on the team. But the defensive end, Brian Thomas Jr., continued to make plays throughout the day, even recovered a fumble on special teams. I know he was called down, but still good to see that he was in the right spot at the right time. And so maybe he's a guy who could potentially push his way onto the final roster or into the practice squad. If you're enjoying this long form content, please let me know in the comments. I'll look to do more of these, and let me know what you thought in the comments. How do you feel about this game? Obviously, not the result any Jaguars fans wanted, but it's the preseason and our starters didn't play.